and just be present and don't talk about the pressures. Because sometimes that can
You bring the pressures into your space.
Yeah, you can take them with you.
Yeah.
Hi, we are Beck and Bern from Rekindling Relationships.
Welcome to our podcast designed to help couples and parents create a more loving, healthy and fun relationship together.
Our aim is to support couples to better communicate as well as help them to navigate the tricky aspects of relating.
As well as creating fun dates and creative workshops, we mentor couples and individuals.
Hope you enjoy our podcast and it helps your relationship to thrive.
Hey everyone.
Hey everyone.
So we are back with a new season. It's been a couple of months. It's been a busy couple of months, hasn't it?
It's been a busy couple of months.
Had school holidays in Victoria, Australia. Been busy with children and work. These are things that definitely get in the way of our topic, which is intimacy.
They sure do.
So we want to talk about
blockers.
Intimacy blockers. So we want to talk about intimacy, and we're going to break that up into 7 episodes, starting with something that blocks intimacy.
So what's the first one we're looking at?
We're looking at pressure, looking at the pressure of life, which really can mess with intimacy. And the pressure of life when it messes with intimacy really can be that we are stressed about something or we've got something on our mind. You're never in the mood for intimacy when you've got something on your mind, are you?
No, it's hard to get into that space, I think, when your mind you've got things rattling around in your head that you need to deal with or can't get rid of.
Maybe in a deep, intimate space, in a physical, intimate space, I feel that, I could probably step into it, but it's on a physical level. There's nothing deeply emotionally intimate about it. No,
that's right. We wouldn't be getting to the level of depth of intimacy, is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, that we would like to be. And that's what, for us, intimacy, we believe intimacy is so important in our relationship and everyone's relationship. It's a bit like the glue. It's but the sticky glue that holds everything together. So
that's a hard balance though, isn't it? Work-life balance with all the other pressures. That's something I think everyone struggles a little bit with, and our relationship can sometimes be the last thing that gets attention.
Yeah, we've noticed that in our own life probably a lot, where when there's so much going on with work, if you can hear that noise, that is a magpie. So if you're from outside Australia, we have these amazing black and white birds that warble.
They make the most beautiful sound.
They're so beautiful.
Quite different from magpies I've experienced in other countries. Have you ever seen any magpies in other countries you've been to?
No, never heard of magpie.
Totally different bird.
Wow. Well, he's sitting on our veranda warbling away right now, sheltering from the rain. So
yeah, the Aussie magpies have this beautiful warble, and hopefully he'll do it again. They're also really highly intelligent birds, aren't they?
Yeah. We'll continue. Go off on a tangent about a magpie. So when there is a lot going on at work, we don't have the time, energy or inclination to actually be intimate with each other.
Yeah, and it's something that comes up for a lot of couples, isn't it? Where all the other pressures of life take over and suffocate your intimacy, really.
Suffocate your intimacy. That sounds horrible.
It does.
It feels horrible too, doesn't it?
It does.
I really feel for young couples with children.
Little kids.
With little kids, because little kids can definitely suffocate your intimacy.
Passion killers.
They're passion. That's what you call our mob, the passion killers.
But little kids even more so. It's hard to get that time away. And I think that's so important. And we say this, I think, a lot in our podcast and to our couples that we mentor. You have to make time.
Yeah, you have to try and prioritise in spite of the pressure. Yeah, children aren't the only pressure. I mean, we have teenagers, so we have that pressure as well of them taking up so much of our time. Pretty amazing here right now. We've got this massive storm happening outside and we've got magpies warbling underneath our veranda.
I think he's actually sheltering from the storm.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, we don't normally have him in here, so I think he's come and sheltered from the storm. It's pretty fierce out there.
Yeah, as well as children and dealing with the pressures of children, there's also work. And work can take up a lot of your headspace. Couldn't be that you come home and you're still thinking about work. It could be you're working really long hours and you're just physically exhausted at the end of it. That work pressure can actually make it hard to be intimate as well.
You're very good at managing your work. But I can always tell when you have work on your mind and you have to get that out of your mind or do whatever you need to do, emails or whatever is surrounding that, organising that work before you can be in an intimate space.
Yeah, it's like I need to relieve the pressure to have the presence in the space. And we're going to talk about presence in another episode. But when I do have too many things going on in my brain and I'm trying to organize work and emails, and I just don't have the headspace for it. I just get distracted. To really enjoy an intimate space, you have to be present.
And that really involves clearing your headspace. Like it might be health pressures, kid pressure, work pressures. It could be all of the above. What would you suggest for couples that struggle to put those pressures aside so that they can have some time in an intimate space?
A really good question. I think that being able to prioritize your relationship is key, because when you prioritize your relationship, you're saying, okay, for this time, that could be an hour, that could be, half an hour even. We're just going to spend time with each other. It's not going to be about work. It's not going to be about the kids. It's not going to be about anything else. And that way, you're carving out little bits of time for each other. Everyone does have some sort of pressure. But if you don't prioritize your relationship, then everything else will take precedence.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think people should do?
I think you're right. I think prioritizing it is definitely key. And I think prioritizing, even if it's just a little section of time a week, it might just be half an hour to an hour where you go have a coffee together and just be present and don't talk about the pressures, because sometimes that can
you bring the pressures into your space.
You can take them with you.
Yeah.
And you just reconnect in presence.
We probably get into a bit of a habit of when we have time together, it's very much a business conversation.
Business.
Yeah,
It's about the kids or
it's about
work
the kids and planning and prioritizing and organizing this and schedules. We don't actually go, okay, this session, this time together is just for us.
Yeah, do something relaxing together or something fun.
Yeah, trying to find something fun to do together, which is not just sitting in front of the television. Because you're not really connected when you're in front of the television watching something. You're looking away from each other. You're not really talking to each other or really know what's going on for each other. You're not asking each other questions, or you're not taking an interest in each other as well. You're sort of both interested in something else.
Yeah, so you need to keep dating.
Yeah, you need to keep dating in spite of family pressures.
Even if you don't feel like it, even if you're like, oh, I've got so much going on, I don't feel in the mood for doing this, I think it's still really important. You'll feel better and your relationship will be better for it.
Taking that time to really work on your relationship and having that maybe just half an hour a week, if that's all you can spare. I think we could probably spend more time with each other. I honestly don't believe that people don't have any time whatsoever. I think what we do is we go, we've slept and eat and, I'm so tired, I just need to sit in front of the television or play a video game, or it's like we check out, but we've got plenty of time to check out. We actually need to be able to balance that time with to check in. Because when things aren't going well in a relationship and you're not checking in with each other and you're not spending time together, everything else is going to be harder. You just keep checking out more and more, don't you?
Do you think people just get into a habit of that person's always there, so you kind of take them for granted?
Oh, definitely. We wouldn't do that at the start of the relationship, would we?
No, that's
There's
true.
no way that
Or
you would.
in the dating part, you'd be like, you're desperate for time together and you're very present.
You wouldn't be sitting there talking about work all the time. Yeah, when you're dating each other, you're way more in tune with wanting to connect with that person. And mental health is a big one. Can put pressure on a relationship. I always feel like the intimacy is one of the first things to go.
Yeah, I think it is.
It's like all of a sudden if you're spending less and less time intimate with each other, then that just, it doesn't happen automatically. It's not like when you first start dating and you're always like intrigued by each other and want to be intimate. After you've been together for a while, it can be harder. You're not dating each other and trying to reinvigorate and rekindle that relationship all the time. And I think intimacy then gets pushed to one side and becomes probably something which is like, it's a bit too hard, or we don't have time, and then everyone loses out.
Absolutely. Financial pressure is another one, I think.
Financial pressure, yeah. I think nowadays
Hit a lot of people.
I think it's hitting people a lot. I mean, in Australia, we've seen interest rates rising and mortgages going up and food becoming more expensive. So it's tightening everything. So that creates that stress of, if you don't have work, everything's impacted then. How do you deal with that? How do you deal with financial stress? Because that's, in some ways, it's out of our hands, isn't it? Is it that recognizing that this is a pressure and this is one of many pressures? However, when we're together, when we're solid, so even for us, when things get tight money-wise, when we're solid together, then we can sort of weather that. We can be like, okay, right now things are tight, but we've got each other.
Yeah.
We live in a fairly wealthy country. We're not destitute. So we can actually still survive. It might not be thriving, but we've got each other.
I think it's that putting your relationship first.
Yeah, in spite of
Keeping
everything.
strong, yeah.
Keeping strong.
Yeah.
That keeping strong together really does support everything else, doesn't it? And when we keep saying intimacy, we don't mean having sex. Intimacy is not just about having sex. Like, being in an intimate space and making love with each other, fantastic. But there's so much more to intimacy, isn't there?
Yeah, and with these kind of pressures, it's probably more like you're reconnecting emotionally. That's kind of before being physical, isn't it?
So true, because this is the stuff that pulls us away emotionally and maybe intellectually from a space rather than physically from a space. Pressure, one of the things that gets in the way of intimacy. And for our next episode, we can talk about something else that can get in the way of intimacy, and that is
porn.
All right, so join us next episode for that interesting discussion.
Bye for now.
See ya.
Thanks for listening. Please subscribe and follow us.
And check out our website at rekindlingrelationships.com.
Bye for now.
See ya.